Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Quincy at the corner of 9th and Main. And for generations, people from Quincy have known this building as the Keller and Sons Company. That's a thing of the past. Keller and Sons Company is closed now, as you can see, since 1880. About 135 years they've been on the corner of 9th and Main, selling seed, all sorts of farm equipment, been a John Deere dealer. That's all over. But a big day is coming up in November when everything on this property is going to be auctioned. And Randy Czar, I asked if I could talk to somebody who knew the company, and they pointed me to you. And when I asked you, why did you know the company so well, you said, well, I've been working here about 40 years.
Yeah, like pretty close, yeah.
And you're the last guy working? You're the last man standing,
I'm
right?
the last one standing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. What have you, in your career here, what have you done? What's your variety of jobs that you've done at Keller?
Oh, I've done everything, basically, except wrench on tractors. I was not much of a mechanic, but I did everything else.
I bet you sold some tractors, didn't you?
Well, I helped sell a few of them here and there. I ran the roads selling seed and garden supplies, bird feed, that's our wholesale distribution network. Processed and cleaned an awful lot of seed in the back room, mixed and bagged turf grass, pasture mixes, clovers, alfalfas, you name it, we did it. And just run the routes with the delivery truck.
Everything in this building, everything in this series of buildings is going to be for sale at the auction. And as we walk through here, it's going to be fascinating for people because they'll see some stuff and they'll see chairs and they'll see shelving and they'll see old stuff, and everything is going to be for sale. So why don't you and I just start by taking a little walk down here.
Okay.
There's no particular order of a lot of this stuff. It's just been boxed up, and what you can tell is a John Deere dealer here because look at all these letters that would have been used to spell out John Deere and whatever, and you got your four-legged deer there. Yeah,
at one time that was mounted on, I think, a large sheet of plywood, and it had it had Kellers and Sons on top, and then underneath it, a John Deere farm equipment sold here, something to that effect, and it got taken down and stored away in the box at some point in time. But,
there's a lot of stuff here that just, you know how it is when at home, at work, you don't know what to do with it. You store it, put it in a box, and you're probably still finding stuff maybe you didn't even know that was here. There's
stuff here that I haven't seen for a long time, but I knew most of it was around here until we started bringing it down. Just like that old Plymouth rope display there. When I first started here, we still sold bulk rope. You could come in and buy everything from a 1/4 inch rope up to an inch and a half hay rope, and they sold it by the foot. And it come out of there. We bought it in big pallets and set in the basement. They fed them up through the floor, and they went through that. And
it's going to be it's going to be a antique collector's and a sign collector's dream. This stuff is all over the place, and here you got this is a PR piece from I don't know where this is from. Is it from Kemp and Burpee Manufacturing Company, and some of the vehicles they use?
Well, it's all in German, so but it's from a Syracuse, New York company. So I don't really know the whole history behind that one, but it's interesting. It's been around here for a long time.
All of the shelving, everything that we see, the chairs and everything's going to go. As we walk through here, Randy, we keep in mind too that as part of this program, we're going to also do some history on the Keller Company because it has a very interesting history. And it's been in the family, like I said, for generations. Now this signage here, this is valuable stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's highly collectible. It's been around here for, like I said, some of it was here before I started, some of it is not.
And this
some you don't see much of anymore.
For instance, here, these two, there's 4 of these here. These first 2 have never been hung.
Not that I can tell.
And the last 2 in there have been hung up, but you can see that these are in very good condition and they're quite old too.
Oh yeah. That one there on the end that's the only one I've ever seen like that.
And you're talking about this one on
the
right.
That one right here. It says Lawn and Garden Tractor. It's
yeah,
metal.
They're all, yep.
I think it came out sometime in the 70s, but you just don't see that one around much anymore, anywhere.
It looks more modern, but like you say, it is from the 70s. As we cross the building over here, we get over, these seed cabinets are interesting because I know you all were big in the seed business.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if they still do it like this anymore, but this is this display area and this area, I guess this is where you would weigh out the seed that you would sell, and it would all be kept in those little wooden cabinets up there.
Oh, between there and up here, these all come out and it's kept different stuff in there. Some of it was garden seed, some of it would be sweet corn, beans, peas. Some would be alfalfa, red clover, be some grass seed mixtures. Those smaller drawers back there held
well,
your
you
smaller
can see a variety
seeds,
of vegetables and
and
all kinds of things. And now those are all empty, but you still have some seed in bags here that you're still trying to sell.
There's still some inventory left around here to go. There's still some sweet corn and some green beans and peas and stuff downstairs, especially for sale.
And in some cases, you have some very old scales
that
are going to go. And I know there are antique collectors that are going to love to have these. That one's not quite so old, but this one looks old.
Yeah, they've been around here for quite a while. This one, not so much, but they still they were still certified this year by the state of Illinois.
So they work fine, huh?
As being good to sell off of, this one and that one, and the other one down the other end. This one she took out of service a few years ago, but is being legal for sale. So,
oh my goodness, 130 some years. Now look here, something like this. This is a pulley. I guess it's some kind of a pulley, but you would hang this from the ceiling, and that would help you lift heavy items.
Sure. That one's one of the things that's been around here. I was here before I got here, and it's going to be here after I'm gone.
Nobody even knows this is the Keller Company building, I think.
No,
I'm not sure that we know what the story is here. But.
Well, the Art Keller Jr. and his dad, George Arthur Sr., were really into, they were kind of firefighting buffs. And that is one of the old Quincy units, firefighting units, that was just up the street up here.
I see.
Way back in the
boy,
day in the 20s or 30s.
That's when, boy, that would have been, I think you're right, maybe the 20s.
And I think they knew the firemen that are on the truck. Now, I can't tell you by name, but I believe they were familiar with those two.
Let's move this direction. I said you've got lots of old pictures, and we're going to look at some of those as we go through the program, and we'll tell the story of the Keller Company. But these are interesting too, because you've got Keller himself or themselves did a lot of their own marketing as well, and you've got some of their old signs in addition to the John Deere signs.
Well, we quit being a full-line John Deere dealer around 92, 93. Then we could sell tractors under 60 horse, and that's when they picked up the Massey Ferguson, Heston, AGCO line of stuff to fill in. Up until that point, we were a full-line John Deere dealer. And after that point, we sold the smaller horse tractors through Deere, and especially the lawn tractors and the small utility type of equipment, and then the bigger gleaner type combine and Massey Ferguson tractors and Land Pride and sunflower tillage equipment and Heston forage equipment, and but we unfortunately got out of the implement business altogether somewhere around 2005. Just advent, change in farming practices, change in buying habits. They started mass merchandising John Deere lawn and garden tractors through some of the big box retailers, and business kind of slacked off, and it changed a lot, so we just got out of it all.
One thing that hasn't changed very much is the way you all used to sell a lot of seed.
Oh yeah.
And not only grass seed, pasture seed, those kinds of things. One thing that hadn't changed is the way that stuff still gets processed. So you can take us into that room, can't you?
You bet.
Let's do that.
You bet. We can do that.
Well, this place goes on and on.
Oh yeah,
Randy, it really does. What is this area called?
This is our one of the mill rooms, packaging rooms where we used to clean a lot of seed over the fanny mill, or it got put in the mixer and blended.
Is that that orange mixer? Is that what we're looking at there?
Yeah, the orange thing there that you see there. That's a mixer.
Okay, now what does it mix? What would it have
anything you want to put in it.
Like seed, for instance?
We did grass seed, alfalfas. I mean, you can do pasture mixes, lawn mixes.
And all this stuff would still be useful today?
Oh yeah, oh very, very much so. That design hasn't changed hardly from day one. Oh.
And what's this machine back here with the white piping coming off of it?
That would just be a package scale, or that's just a bagging scale. You put the bag on it, pull the handle, set your weights on the back. It'll weigh from 25 pounds to 140 pounds. That particular scale will then.
And this would have tied up what? What would
this is just a two-string bag closer sewing machine, if you will.
A sewing machine?
We always call them. They work very similar to your mama's singer that you got sitting at home. They're just the needle's a lot bigger and the thread's a lot bigger.
And you got a ton of these old wooden carts.
Yeah.
And these things, I mean, they do the job, don't they? They really do the job.
We would be lost without them. I was always told, I can't substantiate it, I was told all of these came out of the old CB&Q railroad depot down there. They were baggage carts. And that's how we ended up
so
with
they're
them.
antiques too, aren't
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They hold, they'll move quite a little bit of weight, surprisingly. I mean, you can put a ton of seed on them. And one guy can move them
those things are
relatively
built.
easy.
Those things are built.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go in the next room.
Okay.
Here, let's try this one here.
That one didn't swing open as good.
Now, we mentioned everything. The vehicles that you see in the garage area there, those are for sale?
Oh yeah. They're high mileage, but they're still in pretty good shape.
This is interesting. These aren't going to be worth much to anybody, I don't think. But you got a bunch of them.
Oh, we've got an awful lot of those old monitors. Our computer system is not exactly state of the art.
You got an in-floor scale here, which I think would probably be valuable for somebody. It still works, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, and it'll go up to 40,000 or 4,000 pounds.
4,000 pounds.
2 ton, and it's in pound increments. We used to. When the guys would bring in, when farmers and stuff would bring in the seed, they'd have to weigh it in and get it and be accurate with the amount of what they're bringing in. So.
And we're walking through the old elevator here, huh?
Yeah, it's not that old. It's not safe. It's it's a good old freight elevator.
Here's an example. Now, you guys were big in the seed business, and you still have some samples of it still left to go, and that'll sell, won't it?
Oh yes, oh yes. There's some grass seed there. There's some pasture grass there. There's some native grass there. There's some food plot stuff for the hunters and the wildlife guys. We covered pretty well the full gamut.
And I'm assuming that, like, for people that don't know the seed business like me, what you had to do is you would come and a farmer would come, for instance, and deliver you the product into like a high silo area, right? And they would dump it down, and then you would have to sort it, shake it and sort it and weigh it and everything and package it here. That's where is that where we're going here?
Yeah, we bought over the years. We've bought millions and millions of pounds of red clover. Kentucky 31 fescue, Timothy seed, all locally grown, and the farmer would bring it in, not even necessarily to sell it, but to get it cleaned and take it back home. And he would take it in, and we would run it over the Phantom mills and take out all the trash and the light stuff and the majority of the weed seed and bag it back up. And if he wanted to take it home, he could take it home, or we would buy it at the market rate, and then process it down further fully or more thoroughly through the winter. And predominantly this all happened in the fall from July to September or early October when the guys would bring in the red clover and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Let's
it all got done here.
Let's walk over to this site right over here.
Okay.
And you were talking to me earlier about this company, this Farrell company in Saginaw, Michigan.
Yes, sir.
And you can see their name on the
Yep.
on this product right here. What's this operator called? What's this thing called?
Well, this is a Phantom mill. It's a 4-screen Phantom mill.
Phantom mill.
And it's made by A.T. Farrell Company in Saginaw, Michigan. They're still in business today. The only difference being this is on, it's all oak frame, wooden framework. Today they're using more metal.
Yeah.
You can still get them in the wood frame if you desire, but most of the time they're using more metal.
What does this thing do?
This is what separates the seeds when you bring in it and when it's in its coarse or dirty state. This has got 4 different levels of separation in it. The large stuff goes over the screen and out into a discharge that's thrown away. The real small stuff goes through the screen and goes out a
it kind of
discharge
sorts it
spout.
sorts it by
and it'll
size.
sort it by size and
Okay.
purity. Hopefully you're taking out most of the sticks, stems, hulls.
Would you pick up one of those that screen behind you for us so we can kind of visualize what that does?
This is what, when I say a screen, this is what we're talking about. It's just
Still got some old seed chaff on it?
Yeah, there's just some seed that builds up in it, but they vary by hole size depending on the product that you're going to clean. This is probably this would be a red clover screen that you would, and the size of the hole is what you go by, and sometimes you have to alter the screens a little bit, one size or the other, depending on whether the seed's large or small. So you get most of it. And like I said, this would be a coarse screen. The red clover would go through this. Anything bigger than a red clover seed would go over the top of the screen and out. And then there'd be something similar to this, only with a really, really small hole in it that would not let the red clover go through, but let the little, tiny weeds and stuff in it, pigweed, smartweed, stuff like that fall through.
And then once you've got the seed that you want and you bag it. These are the bag here. Again, you got your sewing machines over here, which will tie the bag.
Some more sewing machines, just like the one in there. And these are
wow.
It's an interesting process. I was just a farm boy when I started here, and coming in off the farm, this all kind of intrigued me. The whole process of all of this stuff, and just got a certain amount of satisfaction to see it. When you can see the raw material come in, and you see when it goes out of here at a 99.9 purity, there's a little bit of satisfaction in your job.
Yeah, and what a cycle. Then that seed goes out, it gets planted,
then it
grows, and then you do it all over again,
and it comes back again.
Neat.
And so it's been an interesting journey around here.
George Keller, founder. From 1880, he founded this company, and actually he was right on the same 9th and Main location, wasn't it, Randy?
Yes, sir.
The same place
Yes,
it's
sir.
always been.
Yes, sir. Haven't moved a muscle. So he started in business with another wagon maker. Originally, he was a blacksmith wagon maker. They operated here, him and a partner by the name of J.P. Wenzel, and they were in business together for, till 83, when Wenzel sold out his share of the building. Around 1882, they erected this frame structure of white pine on the corner of 9th and Main, and it cost them originally not quite $1,500 to build. That's what, then they expanded their business line. They sold buggies, a harness, red clover and Timothy seed out of organ boxes, and continued onward, started selling machinery. Yeah,
it wasn't too long before they became a John Deere dealer, but now this is an interesting picture because they sold off part of the property, this one up here.
Yep, that was in about 1927. They sold off the very corner of 9th and Main, and it became a Shell gas station. Then they contracted George Berensmeyer, a local architect of some fame, and he designed the L-shaped building to go around the gas station.
And that's the building
and
we're in now.
that's the building that's still here
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. And of course, George had 4 sons,
Yep.
and they all got involved in the business, didn't they?
Yes, they did. One son passed away at a relatively early age, and Roy, and didn't continue onward. Oscar, Ralph, and Arthur managed it up into the into the 40s and the 50s before they retired. Then their sons, grandsons of the original George Keller took over management, and they were managing the company when I started.
And I'm thinking that they probably saw, those 4 sons probably saw the sale of these old tractors, these old John Deere.
That was one of the first tractors and plows that they sold here in the late 20s, early 30s.
Wow.
So,
in fact, there is an old John Deere tractor that's part of the auction, and we're going to get to see that a little later on.
Yes, we will.
That'll be neat. Okay.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, Randy.
No problem.
Larry Davis, the life of an auctioneer has got to be interesting because you run into more stuff that you need to learn about. I mean, you need to learn about, like, for instance, you're going to be one of the auctioneers on this project, and you need to really learn what's in here and the value of it, don't you?
Well, about the time you think you've seen it all, something like this will come along, and it's just wonderful. It's educational. I love it.
You probably had some real surprises. As a matter of fact, you're going to show us an old tractor that's going later on.
Yes.
But before we even get there, this is the manuals and the paperwork and everything that it took to run a business in the 1880s has changed quite a bit from today, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. These are receipts from John Deere Plow Company, actually. They're dated 1881, both of them are.
And they show that this is a receipt to, let's see, it says
J.P. Wenzel.
Wenzel. He was the partner, right? The Keller partner. This one says for $210, and this is a receipt for $115.
That's from the Deere and Mansour Company.
And that's what it was called then in 1881, Deere and Mansour Company. I'll be darned. And Deere, like all companies, they sent out to their dealers, they would send out these catalogs.
Implement catalogs, true. And just like today, there's pictures of them, and it shows you what you can buy, what the weights are. And
that was from 1912, and of course there weren't any motorized implements then. It was all either, I don't know if they had any steam ones, but they would have been horse-drawn implements. And
there's John Deere again, 1924.
And every one of these items is going to be part of the auction. It's all for sale. It's terrific. Look at this old typewriter.
They quit using that just recently.
I wonder why.
Model number 10, Pittsburgh Visible.
Here's a catalog from 1905. And this is precious. This is a very exacting scale. I'm not sure why they would need one like that. It's not like they were selling gold or anything, but it was very exacting, wasn't it?
Well, I think when they go to doing a mix, they have to start small and then do the multiplications and increase it.
And you can see the parts here that they use to check the weight.
Balance weights,
yeah. To balance the weights. Oh, wow. And this old book, now this is really a treasure of its own because this is a bookkeeping system, I think, that Mr. Keller had going way back, and all of these documents in here would tell you about how the business was running and
a lot of
what things cost.
Plow works, John Deere plows.
It's from 1882. Moline sold plows and cultivators, so he was buying not just on Deere products, but from other people too.
Still in the buggy business too. See, here's the Abbott Buggy Company.
Yep. And that was from May 11th, 1882. Fascinating. Oh man, what you can learn when you dig around, huh?
Well, somebody's going to enjoy that.
They are. They sure are. I'll tell you what. Let's before we're finished with this program, I've been promising this tractor that we're going to take a look at. And unfortunately, there aren't more of them, but you do have a real precious one, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Let's go take a look at that.
Good.
After you.
Okay.
Okay, Larry. This sweet John Deere tractor. It's been with this dealership for a long time.
Number of years.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things that's going to really enhance its value, I think, won't it?
Oh, I'm sure. Art was well liked, well respected. This tractor's been in the family for a long time, and it was completely refurbished inside and out back some years back, but it's been used for parades only.
Parades only.
Parades
yeah.
only.
So it hasn't been worked too hard, has it?
No, it hasn't. GP represents general purpose,
Uh-huh.
and that's why they use them initials. And there's four types of use to cut the drawbar, belt pulley, suitable for pulling a plow and threshing. So it's quite a tractor.
This would have been, I guess this would have been the state-of-the-art John Deere tractor at the time in 1931.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And look, it has rubber tires.
Yeah. Well, now, would that have been unusual then?
Yes, it would.
Would they have been made of wood or metal?
Iron.
Iron.
Iron wheels.
Iron wheels.
Iron
Okay.
wheels. Uh-huh.
And so somebody was making tires for tractors at that time, but probably not many companies. It was probably pretty select, huh?
True. Iron wheels was the end thing, and then later in life they started changing them.
Let's get a little closer to it over here, Larry.
Okay.
Is there? You have auctioned off tractors before?
Yes,
Is this a real plum? This is a real plum tractor? Well, I mean, like Cherry. You know how they talk about cars?
Oh, it is. It is. No doubt about it. This is really one that you could operate. A lot of the old ones, especially if it's on iron, they just shake and jar you, rattle you to death. But this is one you could actually enjoy taking it on a parade route. Yeah,
on a parade route, or I mean, if you were really into the old ways, you could work it too, couldn't you? I mean, you could use it to work.
You want to work it. You want to do it tenderly.
Sure you would.
1931, that's a long time. It's been around 80 years.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. It's just a sample. Now, like I said, there won't be a lot of tractors at this auction, but this is a sample of some of the quality things that you would see.
Through the years, this is what they done. This is what they sold. And
yep.
I'm assuming Art kept this one basically out of nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to thank you and Randy Czar for helping us do this program. It's very interesting to see the through the decades and generations what has happened. Thank you, and you'll have fun auctioning this off, I think.
Yes,
too.
right.
Yeah. Larry and several other auctioneers will be working that auction on November 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Sullivan Auctioneers, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Sullivan Auctioneers will be helping out. And this and all the items that you saw will be available. With another Illinois story in Quincy, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send $19.95 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.